Hi, guys. So, finally, I'm doing something that I've told myself I would do for years and years and years. I've always wanted to have this show where we just talk about the truth, you know, and we talk about things that people would not ordinarily say or want to say because you rock the waters. Now, me, I I have never been normal. I have never been mainstream ever in anything I have done in my life, and sometimes it's been a good thing, and sometimes it's been really really difficult. And a lot of people tell me that I think differently, and I think in a way I do. Um, so I thought, okay, why not take those different thoughts and kind of talk to some professionals and put that together and see if we can make a show out of it. And my interests, despite being a tomboy, have always been uh, number one, relationships. I think people are really interesting. I'm a writer by profession. That's what I do. And when you're a writer, you have to be interested in people because that's where your material comes from. And if you don't write true things and true emotions, then you lose your audience. So I've always been interested in people. What are people interested in? Now, relationships, for one, men, women, sex, love. Then, of course, we have what drives us beyond that. We have our children and our families. And on top of that, then we have our dreams and our goals and our passions and the places we want to go and the things we want to do. So my show is going to be about those things and spirituality. God, who is God to you? What do you believe? What gets you up in the morning when on mornings when you really do not want to get up? So that's what the show is about. All these things that make us human kind of like thrown in together. And because I am a writer, I do not talk that much. I have then gotten different people who I will be talking to ask these questions that we have, and hopefully to ask them in a different way so we can get different answers, or answers which are slightly left wing, because I am always a bit left wing. Um, a little bit about myself and what would qualify me to even talk about these things. Okay, I'm 40 years old. Thank you. I know I look 25. But no, seriously though, I'm 40 years old. I turned 40 this year. This is the time in your life when you're supposed to kind of like have everything figured out, and I don't. I don't have everything figured out. I was married for 5 years, so I'm divorced. Yes. Um, that was a long time ago. Like I said, I'm not 25 years old. Uh, so I've worked through that, and I know what it's like to share a home with somebody and to try and make two people come together and match. And my ex-husband is English. So there was a difference of culture, difference of upbringing, difference of opinions and thoughts in the world, and all these things. And then on top of that, you throw in love and and chemistry and trying to build something from two very different people, and that in the end kind of just didn't work, or it worked for as long as it did, and then we let each other go. It was not a messy divorce. It was, we've come this far. Okay, we can't go beyond this. Let's let each other go, and that's what we did. I don't have children, so not a mother, but I am an auntie. Um, Love my nieces and nephews to heaven and back. Children just, they show you things in such a different way that an adult would never show you, and the love and the protection, what how you much you want to protect these little things is it's overwhelming sometimes. So I cannot even imagine what it's like for parents, because then that's like your own offspring. um, yeah, so children, the next generation, we keep talking about the dot coms and how messed up they are, the millennials, and how much help they need and all these things. And you know we say that, but then what is the solution? Why are they, why are we not asking why they turned up to be the way that they are? Our parents thought we were messed up, and they had to ask the correct questions for us to get to where we are today. So we'll talk about those things. And like I said, I'm a writer. I Writing is my passion. Writing has always been my passion. My mom says I started writing when I was 2 years old. I would scribble on everything and everybody's books and walls and stuff like that. So this is something I've always wanted to do. And as a child, I always believed I would win an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. Yes, I knew what that was at the age of 7. Best Original Screenplay. And then New York Times best-selling list. Those are things I've always wanted. I hoped I would have done it by the age of that 25 years old. No, it didn't happen. It hasn't happened yet. But when you want something badly enough, you keep pushing. And a lot of the time you'll find you do things that nobody else is going to do, in your field. I have been broke like stupid. I have had less than 200 shillings in my pocket. I have turned down jobs because I did not feel like they were on the right path to where I wanted to go. I've been looked at like I'm ridiculous because I wasn't doing what everybody else was doing. I did not apply for a 9-to-5 job, never wanted to. I only did it as an intern, I think, earlier on when I was like 21, and since then I've never done that again. Oh my gosh, I'd forgotten it's been that long since I held a 9-to-5 job. That's how, long ago it was, between the age of 21 and 23. Never went back there again. So I've done things that would promote my passion, which is not easy. And I know many different people have done many different things that are going to promote their passion, which is not easy. And I would look at them and think, there's no way in hell I'm doing that. And they'd look at me and think, there's no way in hell they're doing what I'm doing. But we're all on a path to the things that make us happy. So Life with Mona is about that. I hope I can capture as much truth as possible and put in my own life as much as possible. And of course, naturally, even as you talk about your own life, you always have to protect the people in your life because they did not ask to go public with anything. So that is going to be done. So it's just a journey, I guess, with people, some people who have the answers and some people who don't. And just seeing where we can go and where we can get to with it. So I hope I'll be seeing you around for more of the shows. How it's going to happen is going to be one show a week, and then we will kind of split it up throughout the week because, so we can have just little bits and pieces of it and not overwhelm anybody with information. And yeah, so I do hope to see you, and let's take this road together. It's Life with Mona. Mwah.